Petromax lantern. You can see there's no glass in there. What you'll find is when they're delivered, the build quality is so shoddy that basically, unless you've got 2 or 3 of them, that you're going to build one good one out of several, and don't expect to send it as a gift to someone and it to work straight out of the box, because they don't. If we take the top off, this is just a decorative top cowl. Here we have the actual jet, which puts the vaporised paraffin in through a basic carburettor where there's an air fuel mixture control there, which you can set to get maximum brightness. And what you'll find is you'll get a slight flicker from these. It's from something called the Leiden-Frost effect. So down you can see the nozzle. What we do is we unscrew the nozzle and we put a mantle on there and set fire to it with a match so it forms ash. Now what you'll find, a common mistake is when the mantle's tied on is it slips off once it's been ashed. The trick is not to over tighten the strings, because they will snap, they're quite brittle, but it's to double them up so it goes twice over the bit that goes over the lip, which you can see on the side. And rather than cut the string off as recommended with the mantles normally, is to actually push the string in and twist it in with the thread of the nozzle. You'll find this has 2 advantages. 1, it stops the mantle falling off, and 2, also it stops the nozzle coming undone, because it acts like a very gentle thread lock, so you can still get it undone. Another lantern I've got, one I use with a mantle in it. As you can see, I've got it double tied, and you might be able to see if I turn it round, possibly, that the string is just up. There we go. The string is just up there in the thread of the burner nozzle, ceramic burner nozzle. It stops it unscrewing, it stops the mantle falling off. As you can see, I've double tied it and it stops it coming off. Also, as we're looking around carefully, you can see this one's been ashed and been lit, and you can see that there's no holes blown in it. It's most important that if it has got holes in it, replace it. Also, to understand that unlike a modern device, it's best to keep plenty of spare mantles, till you get used to using them, and also they don't transport very well. So if you're thinking about taking this from one campsite to another, you're going to want a spare mantle, because otherwise you'll find that it's all ash when you finish with it. Okay, this valve here is purely on or off. If you get soot or a bit of dirt blocking the jet up the top, you literally turn it round from 6 o'clock back to 12 o'clock back to 6 o'clock, and what you've got up here, if we zoom in, is we've actually got a pin that will actually clear any blockage. As you can see, this is the reject one. I didn't pay for it, so to be honest with you, I'm not fussed, but you can see that the finish is quite variable. Also, if I turn it round, we're actually using lead washers down here, and you'll find sometimes they don't seal. That's why it's important to pressurise it just with air before you actually use fuel in it. Otherwise you'll find that you get a leak commonly from here, or sometimes under the lead washer, which is down here under the rapid start. As I say, I can't tell you enough, make sure it's pressurised and it doesn't leak before you light it, and definitely do not use any kind of petrol in it. It's not safe to use petrol in it. Just a final close up, this is where obviously it burnt a hole in the mantle and I wasn't aware of it, so it will actually get really hot, blew the metalwork and crack the glass. So it's important, as I said before, if you've got any issues that the mantle's got little holes in it or whatever, put another mantle on. Okay, final thoughts. You'll find that the original Petromax army lanterns were a lot more heavily built. They didn't come in chrome. Obviously these ones, they're made in China and they put the glass in Germany and call it a German product. There definitely are some quality control issues, so much so that a local store to me won't sell them. And also you speak to people on the internet, and unless you're prepared to work at it, this is not a modern product that will work off the shelf. You really need to be committed and into mechanical things, otherwise they're a bit of a disaster. On the plus side, if you like tinkering with things, you can't beat them. They're fantastic. The design is fantastic, as long as you understand that it's over 100 years old. So obviously it's going to have its idiosyncrasies. It's not going to be bish bash bosh, but once they're lit, they are fantastic for garden parties, barbecues, or if you're stuck in a field somewhere with no light at all, they'll run six hours, maybe 7 hours at a push on the fuel. You do have to pump them up from time to time. They're not completely light it and walk away, but as I say, it depends what you're looking for. The Sea Anchor brand is exactly the same in tin plate, and they're what, I don't know, 25 quid. This is pushing on for 100, and the quality for the money. Okay, it's made out of brass, it's made in China, but there's some serious quality control issues that need to be addressed.